think we'll get started. Danyelle has a company called Quake Brewing. He also has a Kickstarter campaign, which is great. So he's gonna talk to you guys. If you've got 6 minutes, I'll give you a 5-minute warning.
Okay. Hopefully I won't take that long. Good morning, everybody. My name is Danyelle Kimp, and I just recently retired from the United States Army as an officer here in April. And well, been brewing for about a year, and I make really good beer. And let me ask, does everybody here like good beer? Okay, craft beer in particular, right? Picture, I mean, you got unlimited flavor combinations that you can, create from your 4 basic ingredients of beer, let alone any of the other additives you can add in there, different fruits, spices, corianders, peppers, so forth and so on. Pair that with stuffed burgers, and you really have a recipe for success. And I'm ready to, start this venture and hopefully take a few of y'all along for the ride. Now, Alright, so going back to scalability and the components of Quake Brewing Company. Alright, you have 4 components of Quake Brewing Company. You have the brewery itself, right? You have Earthquake Lounge, alright, it's where we're going to serve, various drinks. Folks can come in, relax, enjoy the game, what have you. You have Trimmer's Grill, it's pretty much where the culinary magic happens. It's basically the kitchen, right? And of course, we have Aftershock Karaoke, Bar, and Nightclub. That is optional, all right? That is based on what kind of location that, or facilities that the franchisee may have. All the folks who survived and persevered after the earthquake of '64. Oh, one more thing. I've also coordinated a strategic partnership with Drones for Disaster Relief. Right? Drones for Disaster Relief, Andy Trench is the co-founder of Drones for Disaster Relief. They recently had done some work in Nepal for their earthquake relief and recovery efforts. They utilized drones to fly over locations. All right? The drones they make have thermal sensing technology that they can sense and tell where people are in the rubble. One of the exciting things that they're working on right now are these little, I call them little penny car drones, little bitty ones that they actually deploy from the larger aerial drones, all right? So they can sense where there are clusters of human beings or possibly human beings. They deploy those smaller little drones that can go into small places that humans and animals simply cannot go, and determine where, if there are living human beings there, so that we don't waste lots of manpower and money searching in the wrong place for people who are still alive. All right, so that's one of the partnerships that we're working with. Also with Smart Brew Technology, have a partnership going on with them moving forward for franchisement. So I invite you, each and every one of you, to join me on this adventure, because right now, exponentially speaking, I'm getting ready to hit the curve. All right, and it's going to go fast. It's going to go very, very fast when it does so. Please, I invite you to get on the ride now. While there's still room available. All right. At this time, I'll take any questions regarding Quake Brewing Company or myself. Yes.
Do you have other partners that you're working with on Quake Brewing Company?
At this time, no. But I am fielding interest in investment. Yes.
I'm curious, kind of exactly where are you in terms of starting up this location and how you're funding your startup?
Right now, it's just self. I am working with Evergreen Business Capital, and they have several lenders on deck. One of the biggest hurdles that I had to get over was getting the location. I signed a purchase agreement yesterday, matter of fact, with Velarde's Mexican restaurant. It's I'll take over that business and the location and their equipment and flip it over to become the first Quake Brewing Company. It's actually in a prime location on the corner of Northern Lights and Boniface. Yes.
Who is Smart Technology?
For every single operation or location that we go into, hopefully we'll have multiple locations in Alaska, and then we'll start franchising to the lower 48, hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years. At which time, every single location will be, I want to call it all local, all craft. All right, where they'll be able to source their own local ingredients. Say, for instance, if you go to Mississippi, my home state. Hypothetically speaking, if they want to utilize the magnolia plant or the magnolia tree for one of the ingredients in beer, that's a possibility. But they can call that their own. Of course, with flagship brews and the flagship signature stuffed burgers, all of the variation is on each franchisee. Yes, sir.
Tell me about the national craft beer market. I mean, there's more and more brewers in Alaska, craft brewers in Alaska. The Budweisers of the world are losing market share.
Yes.
Do you have a quantified sense of how long this growth scenario for craft beer is going to go on?
Oh, yes. What I can tell you is what I've gotten from the Brewers Association, which I'm a member of, and soon to be a member of the Brewers Guild of Alaska, is that the craft brewing industry, the beer industry as a whole has dipped about 6% in the last year. However, the craft brew industry itself is up a whopping 18% from last year, and it's growing. As you know, Alaska, no offense, is roughly about 3 years behind the lower 48 and most things that come up here. So with that being said, right now is the prime time to strike in the craft beer industry in Alaska.
3 years, we're 3 years behind the market share for craft beers because it's growing nationally every year.
Yes. I see no end in sight. This is a true trend in the beer industry. Craft beer. People want local. They want unique flavors, and they want to be able to taste variety. Yes.
It seems like there's been a lot of new breweries popping up in town. What do you think the market? How many breweries can we have in town here? I like what you're doing. You're kind of mixing in the restaurant, so
Yes.
You're kind of off site of, or out of the market of most of the existing breweries up here, just tasting rooms essentially. So, how many local breweries do you think Anchorage can, feasibly support?
I can't give you an accurate answer right now. And more is the best answer that I can give you right now. I can't give you anything.
I agree with that. I mean, they're all
Yeah.
packed full.
There is room to grow in Alaska. We're not even in the top 10 in beer drinking states in the United States right now, and we're moving up. Not to say that Alaska's full of alcoholics or anything like that. In my share. But we're moving up, and market share will increase with that as well. Yes.
Can you talk to me about the food side? What's your experience with the restaurant industry? Where are you getting the recipes from?
Oh, yeah.
How are you gonna handle that?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that. As I stated before, I retired from the Army. Did quite a bit of time as an enlisted soldier, and a lot of that time was as an Army cook in the kitchen. So we experimented
Except they
quite
had
a
nowhere
bit.
else to go, right?
Yeah. That's right. That's one of the folks that you don't want to mess with is people who make your food. I digress. My wife of 17 years. Matter of fact, we just had her anniversary a couple days ago. Thank you. She is a culinary genius. She comes up with a lot of the recipes for our stuffed burgers, and of course we'll expand wings. Full menu of like side items, soups, salads, fries, regular fries, and sweet potatoes. Because I'm from Mississippi, sweet potato capital of the world, of course. So sweet potatoes hold a special place in my heart, and I like for those sweet potatoes to be a signature side item for Quake Brewing Company. And each location will have their own side entrees, if you will, but that is going to be the signature dish, stuffed burgers, with a few mainstay recipes for those stuffed burgers as well as ice creams, beer flavored ice creams as well. I do want to go into. Not too many people are making IPA ice creams, but I like to do that. I like to go into that. Oh yeah.
So if somebody wanted.
Yes, please, sir.
On the franchise side of things,
Yes.
are you working with a mentor in that capacity, or do you have franchise experience? I know that's kind of a different world.
Yes. Okay. Yes, as in you're correct. I have absolutely no franchise experience whatsoever. Am I scared about going into franchisement? Yeah, sometimes when I think about it, but that's one of the things that airborne training has taught me is fear management, so we'll be fine. I think that, I will find, there are plenty of good mentors in the world, especially probably here in this room right now. Some folks who maybe own some franchise operations and would be willing to, wrap their arms around a young retiree trying to franchise his operation. So that's a plea.
What is your past business experience? I know you've been in the military, and there's two kinds of business experience, what you might have done outside the military and the things within the military that would have been related to running a business.
Okay. Company command, contract management. I actually ran my own music production company for a while, but that was kind of on the side. It was successful for how much I invested in it, but craft beer industry right now, I see it as another art form, much like music. You have the science component of it, scientific, the mathematics of it, how much of what goes into when and where and how. But then the art form of it, just like music, is how you use it. How you use each one of those components, the water, the hops, the yeast, the malt, all those different varying components. That is the art form about it, that component of craft beer. The same way it is, how do you use each one of those notes when you're talking about four-part harmony? You can make something that sounds like white noise, or something that sounds like, Marvin Gaye, or Led Zeppelin, or any one of the great artists, Chopin. So I'm looking to be the next Chopin. It's a craft beer.
So I have a question.
Yes, sir.
It sounds like you're anchoring your business model around the beer, not so much the burger. It's the combination, but it sounds like the craft beer is a part of the anchor of what you're doing. Is that right?
I know beer. My wife knows the burgers.
So
All right, just like we got to
my actual question, sorry, I'm trying to understand that. But as you're franchising out, I'm imagining as a franchisee, if you're thinking out the next step, that it's probably easier to find burger cooks and to set up kitchens than it is to teach people to brew beer and to go into new places. And so I'm just wondering, have you thought about scaling out a brewery to provide beer to the other franchisees, and they have the option of creating their own brewery if they can find a brewer and get the training. But it's two different businesses that you're running essentially.
No, that's a very good point. That is actually one of the plans that I have moving forward. I did not explain that before, but I will create a location, strictly a brewery, just Quake Brewery itself, to distribute bottles, cans, kegs, everywhere, just like Alaska Brewing Company, Anchorage Brewing Company, Danyelle Brewing Company, which I have to admit has one of the best IPAs I've tasted in a long, long time, Twister Creek. Once again, I digress. Yes, I want to create a huge brewery and distribute worldwide, along with each one of those franchise locations containing the smart brew system and the signature dishes. Does that help answer your question?
Kind of, yeah. So it sounds like you do want to do the brewery, but you would also make it an option for local franchisees to brew their own beer.
Oh, yes.
Is that going to create an issue in terms of just quality control for the brand if
Oh, no. Well, quality control, that would be one of the things that we do set up. I don't want to sully the name of Quake Brewing Company with someone who doesn't care about brewing great beer or creating great stuffed burgers. That's, first and foremost is quality control. Second of all, pretty much it.
Are there examples of, I think it's kind of a cool concept, but are there examples of franchise microbreweries?